Let's talk workload. Now, we know this is a huge issue in education. And for me, a simple test is always to ask the question, is this use of my time going to have a direct impact on children's learning? If the answer's no, why are you doing it? Now, I think for a lot of teachers, and this is why we get so frustrated, is that the why behind doing certain things is because of this obsession with the accountability, fear-driven system, which is more focused on teachers proving they're doing the job so many of them are capable of doing, and therefore wastes a lot of time. And nothing is a better example of that than how certain schools evidence learning. Now, I did a little poll on my Instagram asking, when it comes to evidence learning, are you expected to print and evidence everything in an exercise book? And 52%, we're talking thousands of teachers here, said that they do. They have to put everything in books. Why? Because if you add up the time it takes a teacher printing, photocopying, trimming, and sticking evidence in books, and add that up over a week, a half term, over a year, and think what we could be doing with that time. A teaching hill I'm willing to die on is that if you do book scrutinies, you cannot teach a broad and balanced curriculum. And what I mean by that is if books are the only way in which you evidence learning, you cannot teach a broad and balanced curriculum. Because a big chunk of the English curriculum from every year group 1 to 6 are all these oral speaking objectives. Yet if you only evidence learning in a book, how can you evidence that? And let's be fair, if you're truly honest with yourself, do you give that part of the English curriculum as much weight, time and value as you do everything else if you're driven to make sure there's X amount of pages filled in an exercise book each week? Simple answer, no. So the question is why? I think technology can be a great way in which you can evidence learning alongside books to save teachers so much time, especially when teachers have embraced technology so much over the past few years to help those children learning from home during the pandemic. And yet now we're like, no, let's just go back to what we always did. Tools like Seesaw, Google Classroom, Class Dojo, Shobi are all there and a brilliant way of evidencing learning in some ways more effectively, but definitely more efficiently so that teachers can focus on the most important thing, which is teaching. Yeah, but Ofsted only want to look at books. Says who? That's rubbish. Because according to the Ofsted inspection framework, they do not expect evidence in any specific format as long as it's easily accessible to inspectors. And if there's an inspector coming into your school who can't navigate an iPad and look at Seesaw, I'd question whether they should be allowed to be an inspector. Also says, does not expect written evidence of oral feedback to pupils, so you can stop writing VF in books as well.